Mike Stone, you're on This Week in Startups.
Hi, thanks for having me on, and thanks for a great show.
Oh, thank you. How long have you been listening to the show, may I ask?
I've listened to every single one. I started at around 5, but I went back and listened to them all.
That is fantastic. And can I ask, how do you listen to it? Do you listen to the audio, the video, on your computer, on your iPod? What's your consumption pattern for Twist?
Well, I listen to it on my G1. I subscribe to it on Dogcatcher and just kind of check for updates around Friday, and then download it and listen to it whenever I have it down.
The G1 is the Google phone, the HTC G1, is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
And so it has an iPod catcher on it?
Well, it's an application called Dogcatcher.
Dogcatcher.
It's really cool, and that's how I listened to Twit initially, which is also how I first heard of you.
Ah, so you use Dogcatcher and it downloads the podcast. Does it download them over the over Wi-Fi, or does it download it over like the cellular phone network, like 3G?
You can do it over 3G or the wireless, whichever you want.
Wow. See, this is the thing about the iPhone and the AT&T relationship, which is so horrible. The iPhone would be a perfect device for downloading podcasts, but there's no way to download a podcast on the iPhone, right?
I don't use the iPhone much, but I've heard people have some issues with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can download it to your iTunes, but it doesn't. They don't want to clog up the AT&T network.
That's right.
With downloads. So it's, once again, AT&T fail. No offense to AT&T, but AT&T fail.
I love Android. It's been great to me.
Yeah, and they have a new one coming out, the HTC 2, or is it G2? What are they calling it?
Well, I saw one that just came out, I think, but it doesn't have a keyboard, so I'm waiting for the next one that has a keyboard. And I heard it's actually going to be by Samsung.
Ah. I got to get one of these phones and just at least play with it, because I'm a BlackBerry guy and I use the iPhone, and I want to try this one out. So you have a question?
Yes. So in my spare time, I've been working on a project, and in the domain of the project, there's a really big competitor with like Google-level mindshare. And on top of that, there's some other competitors that are much smaller, but not nearly as the mindshare, and they have products similar to what I want to produce. Me and my partners.
Right.
So my question is, how do I evaluate my idea that I'm developing and whether it can overcome the mindshare of the big company and the products that the smaller ones are developing? Wow,
this is a good question. It depends on. Now, did you say exactly what the space was in? Do you have a?
I haven't. No.
Oh, okay. Can you give us an idea of what space it's in terms of vertical? Is it a web-based product? Is it B2B, B2C? Is it search?
It's a web-based service.
Okay.
And it's for general consumers.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. You can assume that you will have competition if it's a good idea, right? Any good idea is going to be thought of by many people. So are people, or there's already startups going after the same space?
Yes. Actually, we recently looked around for what else is there, and some of them look like they're tackling the problem much like we want to, but not quite the same. And they look like they're listening to their users really well, which is also what we want to do. Right.
Okay. So you've got a good competitor out there who's venture-backed, I assume, or somehow backed, and then
they have some friends and family capital of a fair amount, from what I read.
Yeah, and so there's one of those players, and then are any of the big boys doing it yet? Yahoo, AOL, Google's, Time Warner's, whatever.
I don't think they're tackling it, not directly, anyways. They have products that may help with it, but not directly, I don't think.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a good idea. Somebody else has it. They've been executing for a little bit. They have a little bit of capital. And so you will be the second person or third person to address the space. That's not like you're so far behind. And most spaces have 2 or 3 winners. So if you look at search, if you look at any number of spaces, there's 2 people usually. There's a Coke and a Pepsi. Sometimes there's one dominant player, Windows. But Apple's still making a good living, and they've been coming back. So it is possible, and that you could be the Microsoft or the Apple in this race, if you look at it like a 2-horse race, or the Google and the Yahoo in the search race. So there's definitely a possibility there. But you want to know what? How to know where you stand in terms of competition?
Well, I guess I'm a little worried that the mind share is too big. I mean, with this problem space, if you think of doing this task, they are the ones that most people will think of.
Right.
And so I think the competitors are having that problem too. I mean, I hadn't even heard of the competitors until we did some deeper searching.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I mean, it really depends on if you think you have the wherewithal to fight the fight for 3, 4, 5 years, right? And that's both in terms of capital and in terms of your own personal stamina, because it's not going to be, if there's people already in the space, it's not like it's going to take you a year to just catch up to them and beat them. It may take you multiple years. And so that you have to answer that question very clearly. Do you have the personal passion for the project to fight it for 5 years? If you do, and this is the most important idea to you, and you have the investors lined up to help, and you think you have a better way to sort of catch the mouse, a better mousetrap, then sure, go for it. I mean, if you think about the video space, YouTube was not the first video site. Google was not the first search engine. Apple didn't make the first MP3 player, right? Rio made the first one. So being first means sometimes you get all the arrows when you go up the hill, and somebody else can come in and they might have a way to sort of solve the problem in a way that you don't. So I highly recommend going for it if you think you have a better system, like Steve Jobs thought he had with the iPod. You have the wherewithal, like, say, Steve Jobs did or Google did, and you personally have that passion for it. And so do you have the passion for it to do it for 5 years? Do you have the wherewithal, and do you think you have a better mousetrap?
I think I do.
Yeah.
My question would be, do you have the thought leadership?
Yeah, so do you... go ahead, say it a little louder. So
I mean, do you feel you have the thought leadership? Do you feel like you have a vision that is more extended than what your competitors have? They have barriers, so coming from behind, what you need is an angle on this problem that you think you are the best qualified person in the world to go address. Then you can conquer mountains, right?
Okay, well, I think we have a different angle that might provide a different useful feature for the or way to tackle a problem for the users. So maybe that'll work.
Yeah. And do you have is there a flaw with your competitor? Is there something with your competitor that's their Achilles heel, like they charge customers, or they only do, they only allow the videos to be seen on their site, they don't allow syndication? Maybe you can find something that is their strength and turn it into their weakness. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's definitely plenty of flaws in the big competitor. That's why these other competitors are springing up, actually. Got
it. There's no way we can know what this is, right? Are you comfortable saying what it is, or?
Well, I think I'm comfortable telling you who the big competitor is.
Okay, yeah, tell us who the big competitor is.
It's Evite.
Okay, sure. So Evite is definitely a 800-pound gorilla in the space. It's pretty ugly stuff, and it hasn't been developed too much in a long time. It hasn't really been developed. It's pretty stagnant. And then there's Jonathan Abrams from Friendster fame is now doing an Evite type system. So I think that space is ripe. You should just go right in there and try to innovate if you've got a better mousetrap. Absolutely.
Cool. And actually, I had an idea to build a community. I was wondering, do you think making it open source and kind of building a community that way might have a good potential?
That's possible. If people thought that they could have the invite system on their websites, sort of like, you can blog on Blogger, but you can't put Blogger on your site, but you can with WordPress, that kind of a thing. So you could take the WordPress approach to it and let the community help develop the software. Sure, that could be a great angle. That's the perfect example. Like, Evite's never going to open source their product. They're never going to let people put it on their site. They're going to want it all on their domain name to get their traffic up. So yeah, that's a definite possibility.
Okay, great.
Great, awesome. Well, good luck with it, and keep us in the loop. And where are you based?
I'm actually I'm in Sunnyvale.
Oh, perfect. What are you doing September 14th and 15th?
I don't think I'm doing anything.
Would you like to come to the TechCrunch 50 conference as my guest?
That would be awesome.
Okay, so there we go. Can we get him a ticket to TechCrunch 50? And make sure you come by and say hello.
Cool. Thank you very much.
And next time, you got to get this done in time to launch at TechCrunch 50, maybe next year, September 2010.
I'm hoping to launch before that, but if not,
Okay.
then I'll definitely shoot for it.
Well, then we have to do another TechCrunch 50 conference. Tyler, take another. We'll do one in February then.
Okay.
We'll have it ready for February. We'll do another TechCrunch 50 conference so that you can launch at it.
Cool.
All right. Great talking to you, Mike.